What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panthers Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, this is actually the second time I'm recording this video because my computer decided to be stupid and mess up right as I was finishing up the first time. So, this one's going to be a little bit quicker, but we are going to go ahead, get right into the video. Let's talk the numbers as we get ready for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll be honest, I'm hoping we beat the Dallas Cowboys this week because I have two uncles who are Cowboys fans, and I'd really just want to rub it in their face. Like, I really do. Every time the Cowboys and the Panthers meet up, I want to rub it in their face. So, let's go ahead and get into this breakdown by the numbers and looking at what we've done compared to what they've done. So, for us, offensively, we know what we're doing. 20.4 points per game, 187 pass yards, 128 rush yards, and 315 total yards on offense. And, hey, big shout out because right now, and a lot of it thanking to Rico, our rushing attack is actually the 10th rushing attack in the league. We are the 10th rushing attack in the league sitting as of right now. So that's a big win in my book. And y'all might not appreciate it, but I do. And then on defense, 23.8 points per game, 204 pass yards through the air, 107.2 rush yards on the ground, and then a total of 311.6 total yards per game that were given up. So, rush yards went down, obviously, because of 19 rush yards. Pass yards went up because we allowed more than 200. We allowed like 250. So, obviously, still there. But points per game still remain the same. And total yards actually went down. So, that's a good thing. Now, on Dallas's end, Dallas has essentially the number one offense, has one of the top offenses, the number one offense in points per game at 30.2 points per game. They got 272.2 pass yards per game, 134 rush yards per game, and 406.6 total yards per game, which is wild. But then on the flip side, their defense absolutely sucks. It's worse than ours, bro. Their defense is giving up 30.8 points per game, 284.6 pass yards per game, 127.4 rush yards per game, and 412 total yards per game.
Nani?
Bro, they suck on defense. And so I know somebody put in the comments like, just like, bro, if we can slow down Dak and our offense execute, we could definitely steal this game. We can absolutely steal this game, and I'm 100% in agreement. But I think what comes with that is not only Dak you have to slow down, but there's a few other stars you got to watch out for, bro. And what I mean by that is, yes, you have Dak, but who is his company that you really have to game plan for and be on the lookout for? And it is these individuals right here. You have George Pickens, Javonte Williams, and Jake Ferguson. So, George Pickens, a.k.a. NFL young boy, J.C. Horn, that's your job. I want you on him all day. You should be locked on him all day. Make his life live in hell. Do not make it easy for him by any means necessary. Javonte Williams, he is a very, very, very capable running back, both rushing and out of the backfield. Defensive line, I need another week like last week where you're locked in and in step. And yeah, they do have Miles Sanders also there. So this is kind of a revenge game for him towards us in a sense. But Javonte Williams, hey, I need the defensive line to be locked in on that rushing attack. If they go to him just like passing, okay, cool. But please shut down the rushing attack. And then lastly, tight end Jake Ferguson, to me, is a better Darren Waller. Linebackers and safeties, especially Nick Scott, since we won't put in Lathan Ransom, need to be aware of him at all times. He can sit, he can go up the seam, find himself in the flat. He can sit there in the hook and curl zone, like right in the middle of the zone, and sit down in between it. So, hey, Carolina, y'all need to step up on that defensive end. These are the guys. Essentially, they're a better Miami. This offense is a way better Miami. Is a very, like, they can make you hurt in a lot of different ways. So we have to step our game up and execute the same way we did last week. We have to. And when I'm thinking about it, one I really think about, because I was talking about Jake Ferguson going up the seam. That needs to be watched by the linebackers. And two linebackers in specific, Trayvon Wallace and Christian Roseboom. But what's crazy is this past week, a switch with them made all the difference from what it saw, especially from Canales and company. They made a switch with Roseboom and Wallace to where the first 4 weeks, Roseboom was the one calling the plays. But then this week, they switched up the role. This past week, they switched up the role and said, Trayvon Wallace is going to call the plays and Roseboom is not. And man, did it make a difference, especially to Canales. He says, it was really interesting. It was a really interesting dynamic where Trevin felt really comfortable making the calls. And that was something that we asked him to do to take on that challenge. And Christian just looked like he was playing a little freer out there, running sideline to sideline, making hits. All the things that we saw bringing him in here. And so the flipping of the roles, I thought really helped both guys settle into a comfort zone in a role. And to me, if flipping the play call is what helped communicate to the D-line better in terms of execution on the rush defense, I say keep it that way. Definitely got to clean up the pass coverage for sure. For sure. But if flipping the play calling and Trevin Wallace was better at calling plays, especially against the rush and the run, and that's why that was one reason why we were able to hold Miami to 19 rushing yards total. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. We can clean up the pass coverage. I'm sure we really could clean it up if we put Lathan Ransom in instead of Nick Scott, but you know, what do I know? But overall, I really like that. If that's what happens, run it again this week, see what happens. And if we're successful again, that's who you keep calling the plays going forward. Give that responsibility to Wallace. Let Roseboom just go out and execute without having to worry about making the right play call and this, that, and the third. And, hey, it could be a beautiful thing. I'm all for it, and I like it. And so I think it's really cool. And as we move forward, going into the Panther freeze frame of the week, I love it. It's Pat Jones and the defense celebrating the final sack on Tua Tagovailoa, and they are reeling in the Dolphins because they knew they had just reeled in the victory, man. And I love this photo. I love Pat reeling them in. I love Nick coming in to do the same celebration. I love Wallace in the background just celebrate like a happy little kid. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious, and I'm all for it, man. So shout out to them doing their thing. But now it is time for Panther Nation to speak their truth. And let's get into this comment section. First comment comes from Pearson Braddock, 7039. My man says, whoa, 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 huge red flag for me. I was feeling great about this win over the Dolphins, but after watching your records made section, this is really scary. How do we set so many records with running the ball, stopping the run, and being bailed out by penalties, and only win by 3 points to the Dolphins without their number one wide receiver? This is actually scary because I was watching the entire game and I said to myself, if the Dolphins team was any better, we would not have won. I just feel like 200-plus rushing yards, less than 20 yards allowed, penalties being given to us should not lead to a 3-point lead. Also, Coker is 6'3", 215, while Leggett is 6'1", 220. The size is way closer than people let on. And I mean, you could argue Coker is actually bigger. So I wouldn't say Coker is a somewhere in the middle wide receiver guy. That guy is different. Also, lots of loves on these videos I watch every day. And so, one, I want to talk about the Coker thing. I did go back, make sure. Coker and Leggett are actually the same size. They're both 6'3", but Leggett is bigger because Leggett's 220, 225. Coker is 6'3", 215. So technically Leggett is bigger, but I get what you're saying there in the sense of they are very similar in size. So you are correct. They are similar in size at the same height, and Leggett only being 10 pounds bigger. Yeah, they're similar size. I call them middle of the road because I feel as though Coker's talent and ability, they use him a lot more for middle routes and on the outside. Like, he can be used in a lot more areas, whereas Leggett, you're more so looking at him as a outside receiver predominantly. Can he play the slot? Probably, but that's not his best thing. Coker, I feel as though you could play him in the slot and be fine, not worry about it one bit. Hence why I consider him that more middle of the road guy. Like, I want him catching the dig over the middle. I want him catching the slant over the middle. I want him being able to hit these routes from that slot position to the outside the way that Adam Thielen would. So that's what I mean by that. And you say that these are big red flags. Considering where our team was, I don't see that. I think these are honestly things that it's like, all right, cool. We did this, we set this record. And it's like, oh, we only won by 3. You got to remember, that Miami team locked in too. And it was a stalemate. So, yeah, they didn't have their best receiver, but at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you. We had all our O-line. We're missing players left and right. We didn't have all our tight ends. So, hey, man, you can make that same argument for us. Like, in Miami's case, they shouldn't have blown a 17-point lead because we didn't have our players like that, you know? So, I see what you're saying, though. Next comes from Panthers All Black. Boy, my bro says, Cardiac Cats are back. Best lineup, empty set. Coker, T-Mac, Leggett, Horn with Sanders. With a back, Coker, T-Mac, Horn, Sanders, Enrico, or Little E. Little E, I like it. I know Sanders is out, so sub the Rook or Tommy, still good, but I think Sanders is the better pass catcher. And I can see that. I was looking at it, and I was like, okay. Empty set, I usually go another receiver, but I see why you went Sanders because now that's a big body to block in case you want to run a screen, and it's still a capable pass catcher for the underneath routes. So I get why you went there. And then with a back, you went Coker over Leggett. We kind of just said they are the same size, and I kind of just gave a reason as to why Coker is more versatile. So I honestly talked myself into your point. So I get it. I honestly get it and understand it. And then lastly comes from Darwin Young, 11. He says, okay, come on. What are we talking about? I want something bigger and different. So what about stat records if they're not consistent? Give me consistency in play and wins. Why am I a fan? I want a winning culture. This comes with consistency. Let's go, Panthers. Keep pounding. Okay, and you can want consistency, but here's the thing. How do you get to consistency? You build off great performances, off a record-breaking performance. That helps lay the foundation, bro. And I think a lot of people, you want that consistency week in and week out, but the process to get to that consistency is got to be the journey. And I know a lot of people don't like it. We haven't been the same since 2015, and it sucked. It's been hard. And Panther fans are tired, but, bro, that's part of the journey. You got to love the journey. And the reason why I love the stats and the records is because that, to me, sets a precedent of, hey, this could be the start of that consistency. This could be the start of something great. This could be the start of something new. This could be the turning point. And you got to love the journey. I don't want just the success. I want to be able to pinpoint and say I was a part of the Panthers for this journey. I was happy with the little wins. I was happy with the little progress. I'm thankful for the little progress. I'm thankful for the records here and there. I'm thankful for these moments. And I appreciate these small moments because the small wins are what turn into big wins. The small wins are what turn into small consistent things, which turn into big consistent things, which turn into big consistent wins. So you're saying, so what about the records? Appreciate the records. Because these records are what could be the catalyst for this team. These records could be the catalyst for that consistency. Appreciate the fact that this team, as bad as it's been, coming off of a 42-13 blowout in New England, came back from 17-0 to win. Even gave up a touchdown in the final 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, and it looked like it was, all right, we did all that just to lose. Came back and still found a way to win. Appreciate that. And when you can appreciate that, it grows. And just be thankful. Because if Carolina turns this around and really goes off a run and rattles some great things, this will be the turning point. These records will be the reason breaking these records, our defense finding their identity, the run game being established, leading to a great pass game, being able to come up clutch in clutch moments even when we're down, and we know how to remain even keel. One moment I especially appreciate is, I don't know if y'all seen it yet, the Panthers posted Bryce Young being mic'd up all game. And I appreciate, and I saw it a lot in the comment section, Bryce never changed his tone the whole game. They showed him making the 2 turnovers. Kid's tone was the same, telling DB and telling everybody on the defense to stay with me. Just stay with me all day. It's going to be a long day, just stay with me. When they score, guess what? His tone was still the same. He's like, we're good. Let's keep going. Let's get another. That builds into that consistency that I want to see. Giving Rico the ball builds into that consistency. Setting a record game like that, it's like, all right, we're good. So, you say, so what about the records, man? I'm saying appreciate those records because that could be leading to what you want. Just appreciate it. Be thankful for the little things. That's all I'm saying. And that could be a life lesson too. Like when you're going on these rough journeys, bro, in life, and it seems like everything sucks and nothing's going right and you're ready to quit, take a second, appreciate your little wins because you might be a whole lot closer to your goal than you think. But everything just seems to be, everything's piled up on you so much over the span of your life and the span of time that you just want to quit and you don't even see the greatness in the little thing that you got. So that's my life lesson preaching to y'all for the day. But guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be reminded of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know. 1, what are your feelings about looking at the numbers, knowing the defense that we're going up against? 2, who do you think the key players are on Dallas's team that we should be watching? And 3, do you think the switch up was part of the difference as to why our rush defense finally showed up and we were gang tackling at the point of attack? And let me know everything else in your mind in the comment section below because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. But love all you Panthers Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.